In 2018, President Duterte called Boracay Island a cesspool and ordered its 6-month shutdown to make way for its rehabilitation. A casino ban was declared thereafter. Last week, the chief executive made a U-turn and lifted the ban on the entry of new casinos in a bid to generate revenues that will help the government augment its funding during this health crisis. And this led Boracay locals and environmental groups to gather forces and oppose the project again. Let's hear the insights of Cris Cahilig from the natives of Boracay and business stakeholders. She joins us now from Boracay Island. Cris, thank you so much for joining us. So why are Boracay residents not in favor of building a casino or casinos on the island when this will boost tourism revenues?
Thank you for having me, sir. We have mixed emotions. Of course, we're thankful for the rehabilitation, but the casinos are not the only sources of how to boost tourism. It's a fact. Boracay has been awarded and recognized as a best tourism destination even before without the casinos. So Boracay can survive and it can still contribute to the GDP of the Philippines even if without casinos.
But you know, Cris, President Duterte is calling the shots. It's not really the developers' fault. They put forward a proposal, but now it's really up to the government to approve it or not. Is there a willpower from the Boracay residents to basically fight this U-turn policy of the chief executive?
I believe so, because we are not really against the casinos, because there have been casinos operating in the island prior to the rehabilitation, but there are small casinos operating inside the resorts. Now we're talking about, developing a 23-hectare property, and the issue now is overdevelopment. The context now is overdevelopment, and there's a lot of issues connected to that for environmental issues, because according to the Boracay Interagency Task Force, which is the team that the president assigned for Boracay rehabilitation, they're so vocal about the overdevelopment and the carrying capacity. So they are the ones who were very keen to rehabilitate the island, but they were the one who are contradicting their words right now, it's
Cris,
disappointing.
But Cris, Alliance Global came out with a statement and they said they will faithfully comply with the government's environmental policies. Doesn't this give you some peace of mind, you and your fellow Boracay residents?
Yes, of course. We know that they will comply. But the thing is, how can they comply if we have a building moratorium where the new constructions of buildings are prohibited? How can they comply with that? Unless they will lobby and it will be lifted. And
the president, who made the U-turn on this policy several years ago, can change policy once again overnight on this building moratorium.
That's right. We recognize that we are basically at the mercy of our president. So that's why we're here voicing out, because I think if the president only hear the Boracay Nons, the real Boracay Nons, the cry of Boracay Nons, and the consequences of these developments, I think he will consider.
But if you listen to the president, Cris, he said that he did this because he needs the revenues. He needs the money for the country to sustain its COVID-19 response. Should he be taking it out on the residents of Boracay and setting up the casinos there, or should he look for other means of revenue streams from other projects?
That's right, sir. That's our basic argument per se. It's basically these casinos can exist anywhere. They are in Manila, for example, and it's not the White Beach. So what we what we are pointing out is these casinos can exist everywhere, can exist in other tourism destinations where there is no issue on overdevelopment yet, and we need to distribute these opportunities. These economic opportunities are needed also by other tourist destinations in the Philippines, not just Boracay. Boracay is overdeveloped. Boracay has a lot of jobs for its people and for other people. In fact, we have a current issue right now. Back when there's no pandemic, that we have a problem with the influx of migrant workers, and that's posing another a problem towards the carrying capacity. So there is like, you need to balance. There is no dichotomy here. We just need the government to balance the development and the economic opportunities that are beneficial for this country.
All the best. Cris Cahilig joining us from Boracay Island. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.